La 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 la. Perfect. Some people have turned up. That's open. We've got that. What else we got here? Anything new on Reddit? Beam weapons, got it. Tell Chris Roberts beam weapons. 1 second, let me just find him. I've got your back, bro. Don't you worry. It might sound like I'm walking off away from my chair to go to the toilet, but I'm finding Chris. Right. Yeah, I just had to quickly phone Chris and ask him about beam weapons. And he was like, yeah, no worries. Got some plans for Star Citizen. And don't you worry. Thanks. I love your YouTube channel. He said that like 7 or 8 times. I think you probably are the best YouTuber I've ever seen, not just even for Star Citizen. And then we just talked about my channel when we forgot about talking about beam weapons, actually. He was just basically hitting on me. It's fine, though. It's fine. It's fine. I mean, he's only human. What were we talking about and what's going on? Merry New Year. Happy New Decade. I hope everyone is doing well. And I fucking love computer games. I love Star Citizen. I like being able to be fat and unattractive and make an income facing camera. How good is that? What an era we live in. But I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone had a good Christmas or holiday season, whatever you want to call it. And they're prepared for 2020 and a new decade. And I'm sure life will throw a lot of shit at you because you're human. Unless I've got any like goose and dog followers as well, or owlkin or whatever you are. But you know, sometimes shit happens. Sometimes it doesn't. I hope it doesn't to you. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But board weapons are coming. Beam weapons are coming at some point. Effectively, the mining lasers are kind of beams. And they're also sort of tractor beams as well. A little bit less, but they sort of are. But they're working on tractor beams. They're working on beam weapons. We'll see them. We'll see them iterated on. And hopefully we'll see them this year. So the idea is that they will have proper beam weapons in the game. Eventually, they want to have that. How are you doing? Do you expect a roadmap to completion or any roadmap updates soon? I expect to see roadmap updates this month. Within the next couple of weeks is what I expect. I'm hoping to see a stabilized roadmap for 3.8 and a bit more on 3.9 and maybe the roadmap up. Well, we should see the roadmap up to at least 4.1. With staggered development, CIG should be able to put out more stable, accurate roadmaps. Accurate is probably the word. You'll still see movement and features. You'll still see rescheduling sometimes, but they just need to make it more accurate. Now, 3.8, not as playable, not as playable as I would have liked from a staggered development patch. They basically said, look, we are getting something out that's going to be more playable with staggered development with 3.8 onwards, and 3.8 I felt was rushed at the end. Like, it was super playable. It's got a load of new content. It's got a load of technical achievements. It's got a load of milestones and really important stuff in it. Yeah, but it's just like any other Star Citizen patch for me in terms of playability. It's got a load of bugs still. It's probably the most playable Star Citizen patch we've had, but I was expecting it to be a lot more playable. And there's some game-breaking bugs in there as well. So like the dropping of FPS weapons, the cargo falling through the floor, stuff like that. There's a few of them. So I know they're working on a 3.8.x patch that we'll see in January. And we might see a couple in January because they've got the Cutlass Red planned. They've got the armor from the CitizenCon goodie package, but also the standard version of that armor coming in 3.8.x in January, and a load of fixes for various bugs, but we're not sure which bugs they're going to prioritize and fix, but they have got lots of threads online helping prioritize them. So greetings from Canada, greetings from the UK. Yeah, so my ship giveaways I announce in my monthly update, which is on my website and on my YouTube channel, which is typically the first video I do each month. Not always, but near the beginning. It's always on my Reddit though, so if you go into the description of any of my videos, there is a link to the giveaway from that month. It will give you the giveaway winner, and it will tell you what the next giveaway is, that sort of stuff. And you just navigate my Reddit to see any other details you want. But it gives all the instructions, all of the minor details, little small print details as well. I believe there is a ship concert sale every 6 to 8 weeks typically. Any word, and when we should be hearing about the next one. So typically the first one of every year is mid-February, so around February 14th. They'd have like a Valentine's sale, but they also, around that same time, they sell a concept ship or vehicle. I thought you called me Board-chan then, Tanker. Board-chan. The mod has mining beams, they aren't for battle. They're not for battle, but they can be used for battle, no. But yes, they are effectively the same tech they're going to be using, potentially, for beam weapons. I say potentially because I don't know for sure, but they have previously stated they are doing beam weapons, and they want beam weapons in-game. And they've also previously stated that mining beams are sort of like the same sort of thing they'll be using for beam weapons, or at least is a form of them. I can see beam weapons being a huge heat and a battery drain, though. Yeah, potentially. I mean, you had a beam weapon ship, batteries, power plants, the coolers, that sort of stuff would most certainly be essential. I do want the Carrack as well. Carrack is one of my favourite ships in the game, and I'm looking forward to it. February is when we're going to see the Carrack, according to CIG. When can we expect to see the roadmap updates, as they haven't added the new quarter goals in ages? And when might we see the merchantmen show up? I wouldn't expect to see the actual merchantmen in-game until potentially middle of next year. Just because of what they've been saying about the Banu stuff. Them still getting it in place, still getting it to the style that they want. I'd expect to start to see stuff on the merchantmen at some point this year, though. So, the CIG shuttlecraft, are you talking about the Pisces? The Pisces is a fucking great ship. It is very, very Star Trek, and I love it. Do I play Fortnite? I have played Fortnite. I've played the Battle Royale version like twice in my life, maybe 3 times, 3 games. I used to play, when Fortnite first came out, the PvE experience. I played it for like, I don't know, 20 hours or so with my mate Zen. It got quite boring after a while and repetitive. And it was very buggy. I can't believe it's become like so played and made Epic so much money. When the Carrack comes out in 2020, will we be able to use it to its fullest? Try it in a medbay. No, you only have limited usage of it. Obviously, the exploration mechanics aren't fully fleshed out by any means. We don't have drone bays working properly. We don't have med bays working properly. Board Free Space 3. If Free Space 3 comes out, is that a thing? Free Space 2 is one of my favourite games of all time. Up there with like Half-Life 2 and Half-Life and Quake 2. Lots of games with 2 in them. So, with the implementation of body tracking and NPC healing, we will probably see tier 0 of medical gameplay. Yeah, I would expect for them to flesh a lot of these sort of like gameplay elements out little by little, and then you'll look at them eventually and go, oh, actually, that's medical gameplay now. But they'll keep on adding more and more and more and more and more. Like the player status system goes into medical gameplay as well, because you have status effects applied to you based on the damage you've taken. Stuff like that. What? Someone messaged me about Free Space 3, if it's a real thing, or even if it's a fan project or whatever. Do you think the Vandal ships will be added in the PU in 3.8 or 3.9? Are you talking about the updated Glaive and Scythe? I don't know. That's a fucking good question. So the cockpits of the ships in the persistent universe that humans can fly for those Vandal ships is different than the Vandal cockpits. So they'd have to do more work to finish them off. So maybe. I literally haven't heard anything. I haven't even thought about us asking that question. Do you expect the Shipjacker variants of ships to be buyable, like the Shipjacker Mustang and Cutlass we saw in the latest teaser? I'm hoping that they have some ability in the future to make those ships in some way. So if they have fully modular parts of ships, some parts of ships can literally be slotted onto other parts, different engines and things, that would be fucking great. Even if they're not player facing, but NPCs can use them. So you have Shipjackers they sort of like slot a load of components together. Their chips are weaker or not as effective because of it. But that's cool for enemies at least. Love your channel, BoredGamer. Thank you very much, Gene Collins. I kept up to date with Staff Citizens development while deployed in Afghanistan. Thanks to your work, keep it up. I hope you had a good time in Afghanistan. I hope nothing terrible happened. I have a lot of respect for the armed forces, assuming that you are armed forces, not just deployed there in some other, like, I was there with McDonald's. Something. But I still have respect for you. No worries. I love your channel, Board. I know if I just read that again, because it's praise of me. Hey, Board, thanks for the great content. Will the Sentinel have different cockpit layout of some sort? It will likely have different, like, MFD stuff, because it has different systems. I'm not sure if the cockpit's different. I know the central module's different. Be interesting to know if they do literally have. That would be so cool if they had modular ships. Like I'm talking about not. So we're going to have modularity in the sense that we'll be able to change out certain rooms in ships, like the Caterpillar. We'll have to change its individual 4 cargo bays into different systems and different bays, and they're going to have that for lots of different ships. I think even the Carrack, its cargo pods on the bottom, they can be changed out for different things. You can have modularity in that sense, but I'd love to see modularity of literally putting different parts of ships on other ships. As I said, even if it's just for NPCs, just for the shipjackers, whatever. But that's the sort of teaser we saw from Squadron 42, suggested that might be a thing for the shipjackers. I do love the prospect there. Free Space 3 isn't being made, I'm just kidding. Let's buy the rights from... is it Volition or Violation? Volition? And make Free Space 3. I am happy to back a fan project or something like that. If... we can talk about that. If people are genuinely serious, and people have skill and experience in doing that stuff, happily help with it, and talk about it. I love Free Space 2 is one of my favorite fucking games in the world. I'm not sure what use I'd be. Financially, maybe. But I think it would be more likely... I don't think they'd sell the rights, but they might. I think it would be more likely that you'd have to do something that's very similar to Free Space 2 as a continuation, a spiritual successor to. But then you're just moving into what Star Citizen's doing in the Squadron 42 as well, and then... I'm looking at 3.8 so far. 3.x is the most fun I've had since 2.6. So yeah, 2.6 was at 3. I had so much fun with PvP and the flight model and stuff. So I'm hoping they bring some more of that joy to 3.9 as well. 3.8, most playable patch I've played. It is great. However, there are some major blockers there that need to be solved ASAP. I will have a video going up. I'll make it go live in a second. Yeah, I'll make it go live in a second. Board, what ship packages can you buy after $1,000? Some stupid ones! Let's have a look. I don't know how even to access them. Am I on my main account? Yes. I go into funding. I go in, where do I go? Pledge store. Go game packages. Yeah, okay. Let's show you the Chairman Club stuff. So, Chairman Club things. I mean, this will anger some people. So 20% is added for VAT in my country, so just bear that in mind as well. So the Chairman's Club chips packages give you access to some discounts on buying very expensive lots of ships. Starting with the Luton Scoot, which is a Cutlass and Dragonfly bundle, all the way up to... oh. I thought there was a $35,000 bundle. Do I not have access to that? far as I was aware, there was a $35,000 sort of like completionist pack, but I might have been incorrect. The highest, most expensive one I have access to is $18,000, which would be whatever it is minus VAT, 15,000. And it contains a lot of ships, including the Idris M. Stupid money, eh? Fucking stupid money. Buy a starter package, mate. Get everything in game. Join an organisation if you want to get all the expensive ships and want to have access to them. Get them in game, because if you're enjoying Star Citizen a lot and you're playing a lot and you're going to get to the competitive level in it eventually, then you'll probably be fine to grind up to get it with a group. That's just my opinion. Do you expect 3.8.x will also have platform persistence? There will be a 3.8.x patch that will have platform persistence. That is the plan. And I do expect a wipe with that. Unless they try and move migrate the servers over, which is possible. Hi, welcome to 2020. With coming persistence, the reputations will have longer lasting effects. I'm not sure if platform persistence will actually have reputations progressing with you and being saved from patch to patch. It might. So we'll have to wait and see. In 2020, though, as you correctly identified, they did say they wanted full persistence, which would have reputations persisting. What's your opinion on how CIG will represent that in game? Will we see reputation bars like in MMOs? Be interesting to see what sort of indication we get. I'm not sure what that will be. It could literally just be some stats on the agent that you've worked with previously, or just access to more missions, and you just sort of like judge how much they like you based on how they, respond to you verbally. That's an interesting one. Like I would prefer a stats or something to at a glance tell me exactly how much that Recco Patagula likes me. It's 94%. Great, I've got access to the top tier missions. I think it's a weird one because Star Citizen at the moment sort of like they're going, no, we want to have as much realism and everything diegetic as possible, so you wouldn't have that sort of information. But at the same time, there's going to be a bit of an outcry for it, in my opinion. So I think that we'll probably move towards that more and more. Buy the rights to free space, start a Kickstarter, and give Star Citizen a run for the money. I think it would be we'd do a bad game. I'm just saying that if I was involved, I don't have any artistic flair whatsoever, or any skills with coding or anything. I sort of know what I like. Have you heard anything on the new flight model Chris Roberts is working on? From what I talked to Dave Coulson about it, there's no new flight model. They're just iterating on the current flight model. Do you expect there will be handheld beam weapons too? Maybe dual-wield sidearms? Pew, pew, pew. I love the idea of dual-wielding sidearms. I mean, your arms are independent things, aren't they? Dual-wield, maybe? It's quite hard if you ever try firing with your offhand. It's actually a lot harder than you think with like a pistol or something. So I'm not sure how Star Citizen will approach that. Because one-handed items are effectively two-handed, other than when you're trying to pick up another item. So what I mean by that is that you got your mining laser out, but you can also then pick up a rock, put it in your backpack, sort of thing. I don't know if we'll get beam weapons or FPS, but I mean, if the damage is in the damage types in the game, we could. It's a possibility. Bored, it's been a while. Do you think they will ever fix the 30,000 getting kicked from server error? I had it 3 times. That's really shitty. That could be server instability, Leo King. They obviously will eventually fix it eventually. I haven't had that sort of problem, and server stability has been really, really good for me. And the telemetry, that's a bit lame for you, mate. Oh, thank you very much. People are sending me money I wasn't even noticing. Nasty SC. I can't see your name ever. Thank you very much for the sub. Very much appreciated. Luke Lutzen. What a lovely name. Thank you very much for the sub. Very much appreciated. Thomas Smith. BoredGamer, my favourite. Appreciate if they don't knock me. They don't knock his, but I will wear it gladly. I like turtles. Me too, Gomez. Do not wait for the carrot. You're going to have to wait for the carrot, you monster. It's like Clay, you don't want to wait for something. You have to wait for it. I'm waiting for it. But yes, I know what you mean. I do want a carrot. There's also sort of game systems that the carrot doesn't have when it goes live, but it will be a very, 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 very capable multi-role ship when it goes live. So hopefully it doesn't have any shield holes. I feel that character movement looks and feels janky at the moment. Is there anything on the roadmap to fix that sort of stuff out? Yes, so on the roadmap at the moment is the client-to-server rework. That will have a huge effect on that. They're generally working on the animations and network optimization to make stuff look less janky. So character movement isn't janky when it's just client-side, but as soon as it's server-to-client and other people moving and stuff like that, it's janky. So you're just viewing other people as janky. So they need to solve that shit. With the full release of Squadron 42, do you think CIG will dive into the next Squadron chapter or work on the persistent universe heavier for a while? So, both. Okay? So, I think that Squadron 42 and the core of the game engine, is really super important. So when they get Squadron 42 Episode 1 out, even if they work directly on Episode 2, a large amount of the people that were working on Episode 1 will be allocated to the PU, because Squadron 42 at that stage just needs people to work on environments, interiors, and that sort of stuff. It doesn't need to work on the core of the game, because they've got the core, they've got the engine, they've got a load of the assets and everything, and then Episode 2 just needs environments, the mocap, the scenes, and the sort of like all that sort of stuff. So they'll be able to have a lot more people working on the PU. Can we get ships in game through making Alpha UEC rather than buying ships with real money? Yes, 100%. That's in. Just rent stuff. You can rent or buy, but I would rent in the moment because we haven't got platform persistence. Why is everyone surprised at blockers in 3.8 patch, with the majority of the content isn't coming for at least another year? Yeah, so I mean, there's an element of, there's a lot of core gameplay components and other systems that are reliant on a lot of these fixes in the future, or problems that in the future they'll be able to address much more easily. But I was expecting 3.8 to be significantly more playable. There are blockers in 3.8 which they'll have to solve with the 3.8.x patch, which I think they should have solved before it went live. When do I think the Corsair will be released? Bought one, eager to fly it. You could see it at the end of this year. The Drake pipeline's pretty simple. The Corsair doesn't have any expanded sort of like mechanics it needs, other than it's a medium-sized cool ship from Drake. So is there any point in the medical gameplay if you're not in an org or with teammates on a mission? Yeah, so there'll be search and rescue, and there'll be missions literally to go and heal people and find them, heal them, or you'll get sub-objectives where you'll get more money if you rescue the 890 jump, for example, in the future. So assume that you've got the 890 jump mission like we already have, but also you'd get a larger payout if you rescued more people and healed their injuries, or a couple of them get shot and you could heal them, that sort of stuff. So there's going to be a lot of medical gameplay stuff like that. I mean, you could run a hospital in space, an Endeavour or an Apollo, maybe not solo, but not with the intent to heal your own teammates.
Tricksy little hobbitses.
A3.
Oh, Alfred, thank you very much for the resub. A3 indeed. A heart. It's a heart. I see. I've had a bad throat and a constant like mini cough since CitizenCon. So I got CitizenCon plague. Could you please do a video on organisations? As a new player, I have no clue what to do. What do you mean? I've done lots and lots and lots and lots of videos on individual organisations for my org spotlight. Do you want one more as a general sort of like, this is what organisations are and what they should do as a sort of like general this video, not about a particular organisation, but about the organisation system in general? Is that what you are after, Andre? I'm happy to do something like that. That sounds like quite a small idea. When will Connie work with the snub? Once we have ship-to-ship docking. Said that multiple times now. We don't know when ship-to-ship docking is coming, though. They keep on moving it on the fucking roadmap. With full persistence supposed to be coming this year, do you think we'll finally see land claims and player outposts? This is one of my most anticipated features. I think you'll see land claims and land claim gameplay associated with that, with like trespassing and law system stuff, before you see outposts that you can build separately on planets, because they wanted to have land claim gameplay in 3.8. In 2018 originally. To that sort of like level and degree, but they reprioritized stuff and it got sort of pushed back because Aaron talked to me quite a lot about land claim gameplay and what he wanted for it back then. And they had lots of plans and they had started on a lot of it. So I think you might also see other structures and other stuff you can place or do on land claims that aren't just outpost based. Turn my headphones down slightly. Which will be the next flight-ready ship? The Cutlass Red, coming later this month. And then the Carrack, coming in February. And then the Prowler, coming in March. You did catch me live, Jared. Good job. I mean, if you put the question brackets, are much more easy to pick out your question from the crowd of questions. And if you give me money, I'm much more easy to give you a shout out or whatever the fuck you want. Anakin, thank you very much. H4 thank you very much for the resub. Fate Aki, will the Explorer missions will come with Carrack? Will there be Explorer missions that come with the Carrack? I doubt it. I don't think you'll see anything much from a 3.8.x patch other than fixes, mission accessibility, and those new ships. Thank you very much, Ice Alfic. Thank you very much for the sub. Very much appreciated. Do you think they will introduce melee weapons apart from the knife? Yes, I do. You want a lightsaber? I mean, they might have something lightsaber-like. I mean, they had the knife that's got the glowy bits on. Maybe they'll make a sword that's also glowy. How would Crusader and gas cloud tech work? Could a ship like the Terrapin fly through the entire planet to avoid enemies in pursuit? You should be able to fly through layers of the gas cloud and have that gas giant to some degree, I believe. And it will be like used for gas mining and stuff. There will be points of interest around that and sort of like, I believe, not too deep into the surface, into the shallows of the surface of that gas giant. But I suspect once you go to a certain level, it will crush you or kill you or destroy you or whatever. I believe. Bored, I'm a cop in Canada. Let's get Chris Roberts to Canada. Oh. I see. Before I did a video on exploration this week. Yes, he did a job role video on exploration. It's probably worth watching. Am I right that there still hasn't been any definitive information released on the exploration mechanics? Only finding stuff based on 2 years old information. Yes. So they've only really talked about high-level exploration, and the next sort of step towards exploration mechanics that they're working on is scanning, and scanning, data sharing, and location sharing, and location saving, I believe.
What do you think about the quantum travel times and engine stat design? Like, I noticed that the fastest size one is now faster than size 2 engines, but taking longer to accelerate up to faster speeds. Yes, they also find that typically those quantum drives don't have, they're not particularly efficient, or at least the ships that use them don't have enough capacity for quantum fuel as well. So there's lots going on with quantum travel. So even though some size 1 quantum engines are quite fast, you'll have to keep on stopping and refueling at rest stops. CIG is being sued by Crytek. I'll probably find out more information in March. Crytek's cases, in my opinion, and in lots of other people's opinions, like internet lawyers, like Leonard French and Lawful Masses, and what's the other dude's name? But it's basically that Crytek's case is very weak. Crytek originally sued them because CIG moved over, it seems, to using the Lumberyard engine, and Crytek say no, they had to use the Cry engine, but the court have already dismissed that element. But Crytek are also saying that, well, they were developing 2 games using the Cry engine, however, we only licensed them for 1. They shouldn't have been developing Squadron 42 individually, and so there's some debate over that. It's possible we might just settle, but Crytek's case is pretty weak now. But I will cover that. There's videos on my channel in the Star Citizen Drama playlist section going over all of that. In the new Terra video uploaded on the Star Citizen YouTube, they mentioned PlanetTech V4 was the final version. Do you know if they're planning PlanetTech V5 and V6? So, no. They will continue to iterate on the PlanetTech V4 and make improvements to it and tweak it, but there's not any more future planned overhauls, which would give it another designation that they had to rework all the tech for or anything. The PlanetTech V4 is planned to be the final base for all of the PlanetTech, as far as I'm aware. But they'll keep on iterating and keep on improving it, yes. Don't make that prediction board. It's fine if it's a prediction or people ask me what I think. I'll just make it clear. That's what I think. How would you like Star Citizen to handle mission givers once we have multiple cities, planets, and systems and locations? What missions need to be done to get a quest line from them? They don't necessarily have to have much of full quest lines. They can have quite modular and reputation-based quest systems, and then an occasional one that's the sort of like more quest-liney roller coaster theme park crafted mission. So I think they're going to be trying to make as many missions as possible feel as high quality as possible, but it'd be as modular as possible without having to have them entirely tailor-made or on rails. You expect some form of faction screen to help us with this info? I mean, I'd want that. Obviously, reputation systems are going to be important, and so you know who you can trade with, for what price, what access you have to certain things, what access you have to certain missions, what stations will attack you and won't attack you, do the police hate you or whatever. So you sort of like need this in some way. They can do it reasonably digestically, maybe. Wishing you an awesome 2020. What do you think the end of 2020 will look like? So we will have had... Look, realistically, we have to have had at least a firm, hard date on Squadron 42's release. Probably a Squadron 42 big CitizenCon event. I'm hoping that Squadron 42 is released at the end of 2020, although I think that's very optimistic. I'm interested to see what we're going to get for 4.1 and 4.2 on the roadmap as well. So having Pyro, having a new system in there, I mean, it's potentially they could get server meshing in the end of the year, although I would suspect that's incredibly optimistic as well. I think they want to get it almost ready for completion by the end of 2020. But I own a Valve Index, which is the best the best, as I'm aware, VR headset. It's the knuckles that really make it, and the 144 hertz refresh rate. Oh, Spainworks is so good. So HA Gaming 64. I'm reading it from YouTube, Discord, and Twitch, and Reddit occasionally. But that's not really. I have to click off to do that. But will we ever see the return of the Kilrathi? I think they might be mentioned a couple of times, sort of like thing. They might Easter egg them. Maybe the Kurthaka Tiger people. I don't know how many minutes I am behind. Some minutes. 10 seems probably pretty reasonable for me. Do you think with staggered development they should restrict roadmap just to 2 months they are working on, but tell us everything they're doing? No secret project shite. The 2 patches they're working on, not 2 months. I'm assuming that's what you mean. I would prefer no secrets, both with Squadron 42 and with the Persistent Universe roadmap. I want as much information as possible. They can have stuff under the spoiler tag. Have it under spoiler and you have to click on it to see it. Perfect. I'll have that on your roadmap. Little spoiler things. Cool. Oh, I wanted to see it. Great. So... But I also want a roadmap to completion as well. Like, I want them to show what they're working on for the next patches, but I also want them to show me a list of every feature that they think they need to have the game into a completed state listed somewhere. They don't need to know when it's going to be. They just need to know what it is. Do you think that CIG is making the first draft at loops with missions? For example, do you think claim jumpers are a reflection of missions that could be created dynamically through land claims? Yes, I do. And also the 890 jump mission. And they're trying to have missions that are more multi-part and have side quests and like side elements to them. And for these, eventually these will be like modular. So they'll have lots of different parts and be different every time and can be in lots of different places. We'll start to see more of that stuff in 3.9, although I'm not sure to what extent they'll be modular, and there'll certainly be more multi-part missions. Zach, take ships from CIG and give them to us for your monthly giveaways. Screw the haters. It's not a haters thing. It's not a people calling me shill thing either. I mean, people will do that, whatever. It's clearly proven people will call me a shill, whatever I do. But it's for the future, long term of my channel. How do I want to act? And yeah, so we'll have to wait and see. I'm much more willing. I always entertain the idea. I'm glad that they asked me every patch. Do you want free ship to give away? Which is good. Because I might change my mind in the future. I might be like, fuck, I've got no money. Or I might go, actually, I was being silly. And they might get to a stage, and I think they will. I'll definitely revise what I think once they release Squadron 42 or Star Citizen isn't relying on backer money for it. Maybe. I mean, will there be a better way to recruit people? I'm trying to get members but can't find anyone and I'm desperate. So, I mean, obviously, website, listing in game on the on Spectrum for your org or whatever, your org page. I mean, get friendly with the other orgs, and that sort of stuff. But I expect them to have better and better systems for recruiting people. Star Citizen obviously is harder to recruit people for at the moment, unless you join with a group already. Because then you've got like structure. Getting people to join you when you haven't got a structure or anything already is much harder. I'd say it might be better if it's just you solo or just a couple of people join another org, and then within that org, say, can I set up this wing or this particular thing I want to do in your org, which complements your org? Cool. Titan armor pre-sale dates. We don't have them yet. Apparently, according to the roadmap, Squadron 42's needs has already has the Squadron 42 has the Titan armor for its needs completed. But well, we're supposed to be. So hopefully we'll see some more information on that on the Titan armor coming soon, because I'm very excited about Titan armor. It's one of the vehicles in game, one of the power suits in game that I'm most excited about. I've had conflicting info. Is the money we are earning now supposed to be persistent or not, with a wipe coming up? So 3.8 currently 3.8.0 does not have platform persistence. 3.8.x at some point will have platform persistence. Platform persistence is what you want for persistent monies, and potentially for that money to be transferred between major patches and more readily. What am I most looking forward to in 2020 from Star Citizen? I mean, it's lots of stuff. I mean, new star system, pretty cool. Jump points, pretty cool. There's a lot of stuff. Scanning stuff. Scanning and locational data stuff is really important to me. I use a mouse and keyboard to fly at the moment, mainly because it's just for filming and ease of use. And most people use a mouse and keyboard, so I just do that. The HOTAS I can recommend, though, is a Virpil Constellation Delta. Oh, very, very, very good. We just bite the bullet and have a $500 concept sale for lightsabers. Wow. The money going to the legal battle against Disney. Oh, man. Nice. Oh, shit, son. Robert Johnston. Robert Johnston, I did not mention you in my video that I did, which I should have, as someone I needed to thank you separately. Robert Johnston, I love you. Are you seeing he's mentioned underneath? Donation, even though I wasn't mentioned in your last video. I'm sorry I didn't mention you. Literally, man, I'm so sorry. You are someone that I should have mentioned there. Oh, so Robert Johnston just chucks fucking loads of money at me and tells me to fuck off. I do love you, mate. Like, I really appreciate your support financially, chucking the money at me. And I should have mentioned you in that last video, and there is no excuse. And I feel very sheepish. You have given me $100, so maybe I sort of like rage baited you to give me more money. Maybe it was that. I'll thank you in another video, mate. You tell me you want something to do, you want something Papa Board to do, Papa Board might do it as long as it's not going to get him into trouble. Papa Board sounds weird. It's like very creepy, doesn't it? Do you know when they will introduce the personal inventory system and what will it look like? I'm expecting it in 2020. Very much so, because it's very important. It's obviously they're getting cupboards and all that sort of stuff in to be able to put your suits, EVA, and weapons and gear and all that sort of stuff on your ship. And when they have demos, the last 2 demos they've shown, they've had even beyond that, they've had people putting their clothing and items in lockers and in containers and in wardrobes and stuff like that. So I would expect more iterations on it in 2020, and for us to have something that's more physicalized probably by the middle of this year. They'll probably still want to keep on tweaking it, because they'll want to do a proper backpack system that's not just the commodity inventory system and stuff like that. And they'll probably want to improve the attachment point system. Yeah, I'm genuinely worried about accepting gifts from CIG as a slippery slope sort of thing, of you then don't want to bite the hand that feeds you, and then you wouldn't say what you think about stuff. You may think I'm a shill, you may think I'm like super positive towards CIG all the time. I'm literally not. You might think that, and you're entitled to think that, I suppose, or you're allowed to think I'm not critical enough of them. I suppose you're not allowed to think I'm not ever critical of them, because that would be incorrect. You're not allowed to say that I'm a shill. Well, you're allowed to say I'm a shill, but you'd be incorrect to saying I'm a shill, because I haven't got any financial relationship with the CIG. Beyond, obviously, I cover their game. So, yeah, but I worry about getting to a position where you're in bed with that sort of company, and you've got used to the money or the exposure that brings. Robert Johnson's chucked more money at me. Thomas Smith, thank you very much for the knock. And Robert Johnson, you earned any ship CIG offer by the attention your many videos give to the game. That's true. I think it might make it worse somehow. I don't know. I always feel weird about this. Like, so see, for people that don't know, every from 3.7 onwards, so 3.7 and 3.8, CIG have offered me a ship with each of those patches, saying, "Do you want to give this away to your audience?" So, like, no strings attached. Cool, but I sort of like refuse it at the moment, because my policy is that when CIG offer things that aren't press pass or studio tours, I will always go, no, thank you. Or I can't accept that, but thank you very much. So I haven't received a computer. Didn't get an all expenses paid trip to CitizenCon or Gamescom or anything like that. Anytime I go to those events at the moment, anyway, they're paid for by, I would say me, but probably my Patreons. So I just worry about that sort of stuff. And you might go, just take the ship. It's not even backer money because it's a free thing that they generate. They just give it to you. Yeah, maybe. I don't fucking know. Have you heard anything about VR? After Vulkan integration, I think CIG will entertain more questions and give us a bit more of a bigger response on VR. Was there a update to the Crytek lawsuit yesterday or not? Bear with me 1 second. I don't think so. Oh, there was. Joint stipulation to continue trial and... Let's have a look. So, there is an update to the case. Oh! So, I'm not sure if I'm reading this correctly. Put this on screen. The purpose of this stipulation is to memorize the parties' agreement and seek the court's approval of a briefing schedule for Crytek's anticipated motion to dismiss this case voluntarily without prejudice. What? But then it says, and a continuance of the current trial and related dates. So I need to read this more and find out what the fuck's going on here. Because that sounds like they potentially have come to a settlement and then they're dismissing the case because of that. But then it says, and a continuance. What's the definition of continuance? So I'm not going to get confused. Postponement or adjournment. So maybe that means they are dismissing it? Maybe? Crytek said... During a telephone conference regarding settlement on December 4th, Counsel for Crytek noted that in addition to settlement, it was considering a motion to dismiss based on CIG's recently served objections and responses to Crytek's interrogatories. Then, on or about the 11th December, Crytek's counsel indicated to CIG's counsel during a meeting and confer that based on CIG's responses to certain written discovery, which Crytek contends revealed new information regarding the ripeness of one of Crytek's existing claims, Crytek wished to voluntarily dismiss its claims against CIG without prejudice, with the intention of refiling the suit against CIG following the release of Squadron 42 by CIG. I understand now. So what they're saying is that, whoa, we want to dismiss all this because we want money out of you when Squadron 42 releases. The parties met and conferred to discuss the terms to stipulate of a stipulated dismissal, but they were unable to reach an agreement. Crytek intends to file a motion to dismiss the case without prejudice, and CIG intends to oppose the motion to dismiss. Okay, so, I will do a video on this tomorrow. This is interesting to me. So it looks to me like Crytek are going, right, we are going to dismiss this case, and we are going to re-sue you once you launch your Squadron 42, because then we can sue you for a load more money. That's basically what Crytek is saying. And CIG is saying, we're continuing this fucking lawsuit. We're continuing now. So they're going to try and prevent the motion to dismiss. That's weird. So CIG intends to oppose the motion to dismiss because Crytek are trying to dismiss their own case? I need a lawyer to come along. That's really fucking interesting to me. Thank you very much for pointing that out. So, well, I'll have a look at that in a bit more detail later. I'll see if YouTuber Law and Lawful Masses will be looking at that as well. Oh, that is interesting. That's hilarious that CIG are trying to oppose Crytek's motion to dismiss their own case, if that's how I understand it. Or is it, maybe it could be talking about the protective order. Maybe they're saying they want to get rid of the protective order. I need to read that in a lot more details. No, it can't be. Surely if they dismiss their own case, then Crytek would be liable for all of CIG's money. No, I need to read it and find out what's going on with that. But how weird. Yeah. CIG would want to dismiss the case with prejudice if they're dismissing it or whatever, so that Crytek can't re-sue them in the future. Is the idea. However, if and possibly the judge might. You don't know what the judge will do, because obviously Crytek would be, as far as I'm aware, liable for CIG's fees. But to what extent? Will it just be the 500,000 bond, or will it be the full fees? And then obviously, if they ever went back to court again to do another case like this, that might be held against them, at least in some way. It says without prejudice, but it would be, they'd say they've sued us again, and it's just, trying to whittle down money for our game. Interesting. Cool. Thanks for that. Very much appreciated. I will check it out in a lot more detail later. For those of you that want to follow along at home, here you go. Bam. That's the docket. So Crytek had to pay a $500,000 bond. I think CIG actually wanted a $2 million bond put up, but they only put a $500,000 bond up, so that would pay a large portion of CIG's case costs, and hopefully they'd have to apply for more. Besides Pyro, do you think they have any other systems almost done? Stanton, Pyro. I'm not sure if Pyro's almost done, but Odin systems obviously largely complete, or a large section of it's completed for Squadron 42, and then they are able to rapidly generate a load of the other systems pretty quickly and easily, I would think, like the Nyx system and Magnus system. When players can end up in prison? In 3.9. And then you have to, if you've got a criminal rating and you're taken out by security or die near a bounty hunter, then you respawn in prison, is the idea. What's your take on the orgs and need to be in one? I think Star Citizen is best played with an org. What I mean is, if you're on your own and you're going to be bullied by everyone like an Eve, you can do there are certainly going to be lone wolf activities that you can do and that you can operate in. I'd still say being part of some form of org is probably better in almost all situations, even if that org is some sort of disparate network of other lone wolves that work together sometimes, like the Hobo Code or something. But you certainly can do things entirely solo if you want to. Certain areas you might be bullied by large groups of players. Yes. Avoid that. Avoid those areas, or do something to group up with other people in certain things. Like, you can't do everything solo and then expect to beat groups of players. Are the planets and moons in the standard system finished as far as cities' points of interest are concerned? Just enough to keep us busy at the moment. They are going to keep on improving them and adding more. Can you explain what's wrong with other Star Citizen creators giving away a mold? Sound like an insult? It didn't sound like an insult. Wasn't meant as one, and you've completely misinterpreted that. I didn't even mention other content creators giving them away. I just said I was offered one. I think, unless you're talking about a video, and in which case I probably did mention other content creators. In which case, if you're saying that and it sounded like an insult, then I apologise for that. And then saying today, I didn't say I didn't mean to say anything to sound like an insult anyway. No, because those content creators can give away what they want. I do not want to be in a position where I can be called a shill, personally. Okay? I actually think it's a smart idea, especially for smaller YouTube channels, to take that and to use it for exposure. It's smart for me to do that. I just have reservations about it, which I'm not sure if I'm being stupid about or not. Besides Pyro, do you think they will have other systems? We talked about that. How close are you to 3.8.x? I would expect to see a patch within the next 2 weeks, hopefully within the next week. So end of next week, I'd hope they'd have at least a mini fix for a load of the problems. I'm not sure how long I'm going to be online for, because I've got a really fucked throat still from too much partying. Since CitizenCon, I've had a fucked throat, but it's a mixture of having a cold, too much partying, Christmas being stressful, and not recovering from New Year's yet. Hi, Board. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Any input on Mustang Alpha Starter Pack owners have no more the Aurora to do delivery missions? Frustrating. Mustang is still broken cargo ship. Cheers. Yeah, I mean, the cargo boxes in the ships don't work properly. Eventually they will, hopefully. Rent, do a couple of combat missions and then rent a different ship. Is the best you can do there, unfortunately. Avoid delivery missions in the Mustang at the moment. Do you think CIG pulled salvage to wait for physicality components and subs and physical damage system? Also, your video on the subject was amazing. By the end of 2020 or nah? So physicality, the physical trifecta that I mentioned, I would expect all in 2020. I'd also probably expect, well, I would expect salvage in 2020. CIG keep on fucking moving it, which is really aggravating. Will they add a system where you can put your ships in an org fleet so everyone in an org can use them? I believe that's one of the things they want to do. Permission system, the ability to share ships, loan ships, and org bay, org hangars, and org permission system so you can use other people's ships. I would very much expect. Jasper, I don't think at this point you should be worrying about accepting a free ship from RSI. It's very apparent of what you think of the game and how the dev is going, so I don't think you... okay. I'll tell you what. What I'm going to do, I will put a poll up on my YouTube and potentially my Twitter, and I'll say, look, this is what I'm going to do. Do I accept ships from CIG as long as I am upfront about it, and as long as I promise in no way, shape, or form it will ever affect my opinion on the game? I don't fucking know. I mean, how slimy does that sound, though? Like, so, I don't mind if they give me things, but it won't change my mind and stuff. So, come on. So, do you know if players will be able to hand items to one another? So they actually, I've talked to CIG about this. It's really hard to do handoffs between players, but they want to do that. So you should be able to literally hand off items. And they've got because they've got everything in game unified in first and third person. It's actually easier for them to do that. Not on the network code side of things at the moment, though. So we'll ray off from that. 16 months, baby. Thank you very much. So there'd be, at the moment, it's a bit desyncy and it would be terrible if they did it. But in the future, there's a certain possibility for it. With CIG ending the year 7 million negative and only having 7 million yet in reserve, so CIG have 53 million in the bank currently. Robert T. I've done a full breakdown of their financials. Where do you see CIG getting funds from to continue going forward? So 2019 was the best year for them yet. You don't have the figures for 2019 beyond of their actual costs. You only have their income. But for 2018, they were 7 million negative or whatever. But they were 56 million in the bank afterwards, or 53 million in the bank afterwards. And it's possible in 2019 they may have even made a profit. But they've got that huge buffer from the Calder Group, which is being used to help develop the company. They spend money that they get in game. They literally sort of focus the development on certain areas of the game and in certain ways and a certain amount based on the funding they're getting in. So if they get less money, then they'll move the money around. They'll potentially fire people if they have to, or cut people loose, or not do certain things. I think if well, I'll have to have a look at that Crotech stuff in a lot more detail, so otherwise I'm just sort of like heavily speculating on it in a way that we probably already have the correct information there, and I'd just be like talking out of my ass. Not like in the way I talk about my ass about Star Citizen. That's a whole different ass talking. Thank you very much, Mantis, for gifting a bollock ton of subs. Oh, you star. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mantis has gifted subs to Ferric Veer, Wet Vertical, Icarus 7, and OC Skum. Thank you very much. It's live. Big fan. First time catching you live. What about it? Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Shane Morris, accept giveaway ships. Your fans and fans of Star Citizen would appreciate the giveaway. It costs CIG or its backers no money. Draw your line there. Is that the general feeling of people? What I said, what I'll do, I'll put a poll up, and I'll say, this is what I'm going to do, and please, I will use this as I won't 100% respect the decision of the poll. If it's very close, and this is going to be like Brexit talk, if it's very close, it's an advisory poll. If it's very close, or someone puts a really good sort of like objection in, like, do not accept ships through them, this is a fucking terrible idea, I will shill for myself happily. I'm a BoredGamer shill. I'll shill for Shadow. I'll shill for NordVPN. I make money from people signing up to those, and I use them myself. It's a really easy sell. These are things that I use, so you should use them too. I mean, if I was saying buy hair products from a company, I'm not sure if I'm the best person to sell them. Like, look at my lovely shiny hair from Viva Dalpazoon. I don't even sure the name of any hair companies or shampoo companies. Shampoo. I would expect to see CIG back in the office and making content again from Monday onwards. So I expect to see content again from the 6th, Monday the 6th. Yeah, Crytek have been robbed the wrong way. I think that they're trying to just leverage for a larger, the largest settlement they can. So they want to go, look, we'll a thorn in your side unless you pay us, which is perfectly sort of standard operation, I believe, in that sort of case, or at least what I was expecting. What happens if Crytek wins? Will the project die? No, because that's literally what Crytek is saying now. They're saying they want to sue them after Squadron 42's out, so they can sue them for a lot of money. So they can say, you've made this amount of money because of our effort, and you give this to you. The court doesn't want Crytek or CIG to die in any way, shape, or form. The court wants to do stuff what's fair. The court's not going to go, well, that's all Crytek's money for all the effort that CIG put in for the years. They're not going to say that. They're going to go, well, a portion of that is theirs. A portion of your profit is theirs. Or they could say that. You see what I mean? The court is fair. That's the idea. We're trying to do stuff that is fair in certain situations. Or prevent aberrant behaviour for the future as well. So if CIG had done something terrible, then the court would go, well, putting more penalties on you financially. I'm not sure if you can throw boxes at the moment. You can drop them on the floor. Wait, Squadron 42 will have its own system. Yeah, the Odin system. We know it's at least set in the Odin system, maybe more systems. I linked the documents for Crytek down below. I'll give you the full docket so you can follow as well. Bam. Thank you very much for all the subs and bits and money people are chucking at me. Jeez, I appreciate it. Well, you've proven your own integrity over and over again. It's not. It's a long-term capitalist thinking for my channel. It's not benevolent. It's smart. We know you're always honest, even if you're getting free ships from CIG. You deserve the help to grow this perfect channel. I mean, I wouldn't say the channel is certainly not fucking perfect. I make mistakes all the fucking time, and I'm sure to disappoint you in the future somehow. But thank you, I do appreciate the love. Okay. Should you happen to accept ships from CIG for giveaway, will your business have to consider that as income? No, if they don't have value. I don't think so. I wouldn't think so. I don't know, though. I'd have to ask my accountant. I suppose, no, because it wouldn't ever be in the prize would never be in my hands. It'd be, you could think of a clever way of wording it so that you've never actually had the item to begin with physically in your hand, so you didn't actually get anything given to you. I think that would be fine, but I'd have to ask an accountant, or my accountant. Manners, look at me. I'm the bit leader now. Woo! Dethrone me, citizens. I dare. Wow. I love you, Mantis. And thank you for all the fucking money and support you've given me. Some people are idiots. I love my beautiful idiots. And you are one of them. Mwah. Robert Johnston, Mantis, you're both beautiful idiots. I love you. Zoc 007, thank you very much for the sub. Sorry if already asked this, but what's your opinion on Squadron 42 being late? Do you think we can still get a 2020 release? As Mark and Chris have said. Has Chris said that? Mark said that, and BBC Click have said that. If no, how delayed do you think it would be? I think we'd have to have a hard release date given for Squadron 42 at some point this year. And I'd love it to be released at the end of 2020, although I think it would be released between end of 2020 and mid-2021. I think really anything beyond that is fucking pushing it. When do you think we'll be able to spawn vehicles and ships? When we have ship-to-ship docking, I think they want at the same time, I think, a system to be able to add ships in ships when they spawn. So you'd go into your Mobiglass app and you'd literally put your vehicle in the ship so it spawns together. Do you recommend upgrading the Reliant core as a starter cargo mission runner? I hate the Reliant series of ships. Avenger Titan. I think we should see roadmap update sometime in January. I'd hope within the next couple of weeks would be my hope, but sometime in January. Hey man, love your videos. I wanted to know your opinion on them selling every ship IRL for money for so far. Sorry if you've discussed this. I mean, discussed it previously, but you can always ask me again. My opinion may change. It's sort of like it's the only way that Star Citizen could have been funded to this degree, and it's obviously an amazing tool for them to get funding for the game. You might not like the practice, but I don't think it will make the game pay to win in a way that breaks it. Although we'll have to wait and see. I think that it's a viable way of doing stuff. I wouldn't want them to make more powerful ships constantly for more and more money throughout the game's life, and the only way to get them is to pay real money or anything like that. That would be fucking awful. But they're not doing that. They're just sort of like, you can get this ship at this earliest possible stage if you pay real money now. And as long as they don't overly break the game with sort of like that sort of pay-to-win mechanic, I think it'll be fine. It's an interesting subject. I've done loads of videos on it previously. It's something that we need to watch CIG on, and then we need to make sure that they balance the game appropriately. And they haven't balanced the game appropriately yet for it, but it's what else have we got here? I appreciate your unbiased approach to Star Citizen. It's biased in the fact that I love Star Citizen. I really like the project. Made a lot of friends there from the community and from devs and all that sort of stuff. But I will talk about the stuff that I want to talk about without fear. I mean, I suppose we know you're a fan of Star Citizen, but you're not a marketing tool. I think I am a marketing tool for them. I think all content creators are in some way. I mean, they sort of just are. Or at least CIG would probably see them as that. Or at least connected to their marketing. You know what I mean? But I appreciate what you're trying to say. Thank you. I would rather the community put a pot of money together, which then can be handed over to the example. Okay, whoa. Sorry, you're talking about money and me. I would rather the community put a pot of money together, which we can then be handed over, for example, to Zinnia, who is planned to be the board. Yeah, she's going to be my community manager and my editor, and she's going to do my job. She's going to do my job, and I'm just going to be the face and voice and money maker at BoredGamer. I'm the talent. She's the not talent. Please be watching this soon. I love you. And she then buys ships with that money for giveaway. Community sponsored giveaways. I basically do when I'm not getting a free ship from like an organisation that's sort of like being plugged by me. I use the Patreon money or whatever to buy giveaway ships. Do you plan on continuing the series, or you need to start a ship? Yes. So what I was planning to do is every major patch we'll do a similar sort of like all you need is a starter ship, or starting out, and this is what the game can provide. And yes, me and Salty Mike are going to be working together to do lots of gameplay like that. Potentially other content creators as well. Do you know if Squadron 42 has any issues as the PTU does with AI? I know that the AI needs for Squadron 42 are simpler and easier for them to solve and fix because they're effectively scripted, only one player, and only sort of like one angle and area that they have to come in, and they don't have to keep on generating loads and loads of content over a whole server. Hair products by BoredGamer, yeah, I know. That would be very... Maybe it was April Fool's. I think it's very unlikely that Crytek would win their case, or any of their cases. However, there might be something to some of it. I think much more likely is a settlement at some point. Although I think that CIG have also realised that this lawsuit is probably quite good for their marketing to fight it as well. Thanks, Papa Board. Will careful throwing ever be a thing? I think throwing will be a thing. That makes sense. And why wouldn't it be, sort of thing? You want a sort of like world where you can interact with everything. I very much expect throwing to be a thing. Do you think it's fair for CIG to develop ships in secret? I don't want ships to be developed in secret. I don't want secret spoilers. I don't want them to have like I want them on the roadmap to have everything. Like, tell me everything that you're doing on the project. I mean, have little spoiler clickies. So you go, well, actually, we're keeping a secret. But if you want to know more, cool, great. The more information, the better for me. I'm fine for people to spoil films for me. Don't do it here because people go fucking mental. But I'm fine for people to spoil films for me, like what happens in them. I don't care. I will enjoy them for a piece of art and watching them evolve. I can enjoy a story even if I know how it ends. That's just me. But I don't want straight to flyable ships. I want to be involved in the earliest possible stage in those ships. Won't this entire thing be fixed if they sell Squadron 42 in one package? With one launcher. They don't even have to sell it as one package, I believe. I believe they just have to sell it as part of one launcher. But Crytek will say that they marketed the games separately, which they sort of have now, because you can buy them separately. Have you heard anything about phishing? Only when I have mentioned it to devs before, they said, it is an MMO. Like, a couple of them have said that. So they've obviously had some internal conversations about it. And they've gone, maybe? Hi, Board. Love your channel. Been watching for years. I'm amazed you can keep up the content for so long without getting totally burnt out. I mean, what's there to get burnt out with? I get to play computer games. I'm really enjoying the project and the community, and I can take a day off if I need to. I'm like devastated, but I'm bipolar. I have an anxiety issue, and being bipolar just means I want to work constantly. Because when I'm not working or bored, I get depressed. I just want to work. So I don't get burnt out because I'm always looking for more. And I don't take like people saying stuff about me personally ever. I don't think anything that anyone says about the project personally, because it's not my job to defend Star Citizen. It's my job to learn about Star Citizen and convey information about Star Citizen on my channel. So, yeehaw! Thank you very much for the knock. Perfect entry to the weekend. Board and beer. Oh my god, I want a beer. No, that's what I want. Could you ask CIG or CIG community manager could you ask CIG's community coordinator to attend one of your streams one day for an interview? Potentially. I'll ask CIG for some stuff. What I want to do in the near future is go on an office tour. Will there be a zombie mode? I don't believe so. Oh my fucking! They might put one into Star Marine, mightn't they? They've got Theatres of War. Don't give Sean Tracy more ideas. He clearly wants Mech Warrior in that game. Rumor and leaks has it that Elite Dangerous's 2020 expansion pack will be much coveted first-person shooter module with base building in tow. If true, some nice competition to light the fire under CIG's ass. I would like it. And some better ideas for them, like what works, what doesn't work. Other games doing similar stuff to Star Citizen and CIG is fine. It's not a threat. There's more than one game that can exist doing similar things. And I hope CIG uses some of this stuff. What I expect from Elite Dangerous, and not to offend Elite Dangerous players, is quite a shallow gameplay mechanic and loop for that, and it not to look the best. And that's what I want for CIG and Star Citizen. I want more developed mechanics and stuff to look very pretty, and for it to be funner because of that for me. The Carrack was not reduced in size from the original concept. It's gained 2 meters. The Carrack was 123 meters. Then expanded by about 40% or 30% or something, and then got reduced again and ended up being slightly bigger than it was originally concepted. What would you do? I have one avatar with 4 packages of the game, and I have 2 other avatars with a package on their own of the game as well. Should I consolidate them? No. Keep them all as separate accounts. I would expect then you can have them sort of like all doing different things. That's my sort of idea. I would keep them as different accounts. I wouldn't consider Star Citizen out of alpha for quite a while. It can move into beta without being feature complete. But before it moves into live, it needs to be a feature complete beta, in my opinion. I wouldn't expect it to move into beta until it has permanent progression. So it moves into UEC and has server meshing in. Pardon me. It needs all the core of the game, all of the core game systems in. I can't see why you don't like the Reliant series. They've like historically flown very poorly. I don't really see a need for them in the game when you've got like the Adventure Titan in. They sort of like they are a redundant ship in my eyes. I like the way they look. I love the fact that you can now change their orientation by pressing J, but we have to co-buy ships with friends and orgs. I believe in the future you will be able to in game. They're doing loads of org and party stuff, sort of like iteratively, and orgs and party systems are a major pillar of the game. Based on ship development and release currently, what capacity do you think they'll release more ships post-launch without the same tier of funding CIG get today? I don't know, really. I'd expect to see at least a new ship after release every quarter, at least. Nautilus mines use ship components. How much do you think each mine will cost? I don't know. You can buy them and repurpose them as well. I just don't know the cost of them because we don't actually have them for Nautilus in game yet, and all the mechanics to deploy them yet. I think it will be eventually balanced. Do you know when the next big ship sale is? I would expect it mid-February. After Squadron 42 launches, do you think the persistent universe development will speed up significantly? Yes. As they complete more and more parts of Squadron 42, you'll notice them getting added to the persistent universe as well, a lot of them. And once they completed that, then they'll have a lot more people. Yeah, even if they move straight on to Episode 2, they're going to have a lot more people still to work on the persistent universe as well. Because they will have finished systems that don't require them to move on to Episode 2. So that they're just permanent part of the engine or whatever. When CIG stop relying on backer money, will ships get cheaper or free? I mean, they are free. You can get them in game now. Most of them. Does CIG or you anticipate funding to slow significantly once Squadron 42 is released? If Squadron 42 is a great game, no, it should speed up significantly. The game can break into mainstream. The game breaks into mainstream and gets another, million backers or something, it will skyrocket. That's the Valkyrie in the background. It's a dropship, basically. Gunship, dropship. The footage in the background is from CitizenCon. It's the gameplay demo from CitizenCon that I patched together. Any idea when the next 3.8 patch will be released? I expect it within the next couple of weeks. Hopefully with a hotfix by the end of next week. That's my hope. Here's some money to leave my Reliant out of this, you awful hobbits. So do I. I'm sorry. I don't like the Reliant. Okay, so you can have a Reliant. You can enjoy that fucking Reliant, but ugh. What was for lunch today? I had a Japanese salad pot, which had like different types of bean and rice and carrot and stuff in it. I'm on a huge diet at the moment. Tonight, I'll be doing, and in a minute actually, I'm really fucking starving, I'll go in a minute. I'll be having some dumplings. I've got some gyoza. I've got some dumplings. Japanese dumplings. That's all I've bought a bit. I'm on a diet. Although it's my mate's birthday tomorrow, and I've been out so much fucking recently. I don't want to go. I didn't go out for like 6 months at one point, and then I've been out every other weekend for the last 3 months. I'm dead. I'm dead. Yeah, I'd like to get some CIG people like Luke Presley, Sean Tracy, just chatting to Jared or Cameron or people about their jobs as well. Would be pretty cool. Happy New Year, guys! Happy New Year. Lots of people saying Happy New Year. I don't follow football, and I should. I know I probably look like I follow football. When do you think the Vulcan will release? I think they'll probably want to work on the drone gameplay before they release the Vulcan. And I mean, if a drone gameplay is a priority, you could see the Vulcan this year. They'd probably like to release drones in Q3 2020 if that's the case. But I don't know. Is the point? We'll know a lot more after they've done the reschedule for January and show a bit more of the roadmap. I need that to work out stuff, but I can use it to quite a high level of understanding of what CIG want to do, and that's one of the reasons that I was pretty fucking accurate. Other than the Squadron 42 marketing campaign starting and the destruction of Paul Olisar, I was pretty fucking accurate with my information and predictions on what they showed at CitizenCon. So, but I use that roadmap and then, in fact, other things from other leaks and stuff I hear, and I also occasionally poke devs with questions. Have you heard anything about extending animation sets for characters such as sliding, bolting, tactical prone? I think in the last monthly report they talked about that's the sort of some of the stuff they were doing. Adding pickup animations and adding some more animations and tweaking them, speeding some of the animations up. I'm going to release a video now. Where is video? I released it a while ago. Which is a 3.8 state of the game, which is looking at much more critically looking at bugs and triage over pretty much everything else. You didn't. No, that's good. So Robert Johnson has sent me another $100. I was like, no, don't do that. Don't fucking do that. I'm not deserving. Right. Bear with me 1 second. But yeah, basically, I wanted to be a bit more critical of CIG with 3.8's release because it's part of the staggered development model. Monetization. Let's make sure the video does not have non-skippable ads because fuck non-skippable ads. It's the thing so I don't run non-skippable ads. I don't think on my channel at all. I don't think so. There might be some videos that have them on, but it's very rarely. It's only if I haven't clicked off the thing. No, don't hello and welcome. Don't you do that again? Don't you? No. Editor. No. Back to channel videos. The new YouTube systems and stuff and video stuff and editor is all mental. No. Why you do this to me? Bad game. So hopefully CIG will fix a load of the issues that I have with 3.8 because I do think there's some major blockers there that they should have fixed, in my opinion, which they did not, and which made me sad. I'll release that now. Make that go live. What? We're going on to Pedro. Here we have more Pedro. Okay. Now let's make this go live. Publish now. Yes. Done. Save. Perfect. So I'm gonna go in a minute. I'll go through a quick fire a load of the questions. No, stop, my baby. And you've got a video for yourselves to watch straight afterwards. How fucking generous. I'm a generous and beautiful god. Potato god. The best kind. Right, what else we got here? I'm looking forward to looking through that Crytek stuff. That's going to change my plans for tomorrow, but... didn't CIG have some sort of sports game mode? Yes, so they contracted Ilphonic to do some of their first-person shooter stuff and the Ender's Game style mode Satable. However, I believe they had problems with the scales. So they literally built it to the wrong scale or different scale, and there was some sort of communication error between CIG and Ilphonic, and it was all fucked, and they had to bin a load of it. Not all of it, but a lot of it. So you probably see Satable in the far future, but there was a big sort of like herp-a-derp mistake, I believe, on both parties. I've noticed that the server-to-client rework isn't there at the moment. I'll have a look later, and they might have moved some of it off because they need to iterate on server-side object container streaming and that sort of stuff. They've done part of it already. I know that. No, it's intentional, but why did they start this patch with no money? I don't really know the why. I think it's because they were getting potentially ready for platform persistence. Because they have to base it on your account. They started everyone's account at 0, I think. But obviously we don't have platform persistence yet. It's in a 3.8.x patch. I didn't watch the last 2-hour video that Sorry Mike did all the way through yet. I've only got like an hour and 10 minutes into it. In your legal opinion, which I don't have, by the way, because I'm not a lawyer, although I did do law at university, do you expect CIG to argue against Crytek's motion to voluntarily dismiss without prejudice? Yes, because that's what that document looked like. Look, it said, and they want the case to be either dismissed with prejudice, or for it to be under CIG's terms, and they want to be able to say that they at least protested and stuff like that. They're doing everything so it gives them the best possible position, which is what they should do. Modular ship types, replacing cargo for medbay instead of having to buy a whole new ship. Do you think that's the way forward for basic hulls? For some ships, yes. For some ships, you may be able to change a section of the ship out for something like a medbay, like maybe a Caterpillar. You could say change one of the cargo bays in there into a medbay. It's not going to be available for all ships. Certain ships will have certain types of changes they can make. Do you think it would be possible to melt parts of a ship's package, like the exploration package, instead of only being able to melt the packages as it is now? I think that they'll keep the system they currently have. That would be my expectation. Would it be interesting to get the community more involved than just in the funding, but also help to create animations, flares, shirts, skins, items, and have a lot of developers in the Star Citizen community helping? Yes. So if I had started Star Citizen from the scratch again, I'd have it much more of a open development, much more so giving people modding abilities already, but not having much of a game there. Sort of like people be able to spawn stuff in with the console. Try and get people involved in that modding process. Get people making Star Wars mods and stuff like that. Bam, 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 bam. That would be my way of doing it, but a lot more raw, much more raw expensive. Let people spawn in Idrises and shit. Do you think that we'll ever make it? We talked about that. How many monitors do I employ? I've got 3 here and another one here, which is currently off. And I was using it for my storage server, which is currently offline. But I'll plug it back into my main PC. Or maybe the storage server back on, I don't know. Getting ready to build a new computer over the next few weeks for content and Star Citizen, so... Can you give us any information you might have about extra packages and what they might do on your accounts? I don't know yet. CIG don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure if those are going to be able to give you additional characters or AI companions or something. Are they given a projected date for AI being much more advanced and being able to help you on your ship? So NPC crew are a bit different. They are doing lots and lots of AI polishing and finishing off a lot of this basic systems and some of the more advanced systems in 2020 for AI. But I don't think NPC crew in the persistent universe is one of them. It could be. We might see like AI turrets at the end of 2020. I mean, sort of NPC do work with players at the moment. Like if you steal an NPC like Hammerhead or something, it will shoot at your targets because it has NPCs in there, and it will target. It will go after ships. Or say shoot at your targets. It will shoot at targets. I do love the Mercury. Yes, Mercury is great. Is the Clover Star Mini mission still in? I actually talked about it in a video the other day and said if the down satellite mission's still there, I need to do that. I haven't checked in 3.8 it, to be honest. Data running is almost certainly going to be in 2020, in my opinion. It's cargo as data, and obviously a very simple system they can implement. Will we be able to neon our ships? Well, in the Squadron 42 visual trailer, there's obviously the Shipjacker neon ships. So aftermarket customization of ships, I would expect to get quite crazy. Right. What are your concerns about future hackers plaguing the game? Oh, I was actually thinking about this while I was having a poo earlier. I'm have some worries about hackers. Hackers are in pretty much every game to some extent. Do you think CIG will work up a good anti-cheat to combat cheating? I think they'll have a reasonable anti-cheat, but I think that they'll be able to track stuff through logs. They need to basically have a policy of, right, we're banning this account permanently, and we're maybe even reversing all the transactions it did at all levels or something. Like they need a way of basically scorched earthing that, so people don't do it. Hardware banning, hardware ID ban or something like that as well. I'm also sick and tired, Polyphant. I know you're feeling. But yeah, hackers are a genuine worry of mine in all games. They maybe not plague Apex Legends, but they're certainly in Apex Legends, and it makes me sad. What are your concerns about? And that's where we just talked about modular pods to keep in line with CIG's design ideas. What do you think about having pod sizes? Pod 1 size consumes, pod 2 size consumes. Yeah, so they do want modular pods to fit in multiple situations. Like they recently talked about the Carrack having cargo pods which could be swapped out for other things, and that will fit other ships to its class or whatever. So there are going to be sizes and more modular pods than you think that aren't just for one thing. Hey, BoredGamer, you're the reason I'm buying Star Citizen. Thank you for your service. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate the love. I hope you enjoy it. And thank you very much. Lichcran. Thank you very much. I appreciate your love. He is my most posty Redditor, Lichcran. I think I sent him a Saber Raven at one point because I was like, shit, son, you've posted here every day for like a year. Have a Saber Raven. I hope you're enjoying yourself, mate. I hope you're having a good 2020. Oh, good man. Thank you very much. I appreciate the love. Just so people know, I do appreciate the subscriptions and the joins and the monies and the love. A huge amount. I don't need people to desperately chuck money at me constantly or anything like that. It is appreciated. It does help me expand and do more things, I suppose, and buy more hardware and not worry about stuff so much and eat nicer food, but it doesn't allow me to eat. It just allows me to eat better. So people to know, I do appreciate it. It's just, don't feel like you need to give your money if you're not having the best fucking life you can. If you've got spare fucking cash, give it to me. But if you don't, then don't. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not your dad. Maybe I am. I don't know what's going on anymore. I'm glad everyone's okay, though. Or it seems okay. Mostly. Are people okay? I didn't really check. Slugster, thank you very much for the subscription. Very much appreciated. Love your face. But yeah. I think I'm going to dash off to have some dinner in a second. Will CIG ever get rid of max ship speeds in space? Probably not. I think they're keeping the flight model they've got at the moment, and they'll probably just iterate on it a lot and tweak it a lot. You'll get like physicalized components and stuff really affecting the flight model in a positive way, in my opinion. What PC specs do I need for a full HD and high settings? Not that much, like 16 gigs RAM, GeForce 1070 onwards, probably good enough. As long as you're running at no more than 1440p. I mean, if you're looking at 4K, then you're looking at a beast of a system. So I'm okay with people data mining CIG stuff. I don't mind leaks so much. Obviously, semi against Evacardi leaks. One part of that is because I'm an Evacardi member, and because of that, I can't report on those leaks. It's sort of like in my NDA to effectively protect the leaks. So I'm not supposed to report on those information. I'm not supposed to report on any parts of the Evacardi patch, specifics of the Evacardi patch. I can say generally what Evacardi do, as long as it's not specific to the current patch or whatever. So part of it's that, and part of it is that I think people should fucking respect their ND fucking A's. Fuck. Sorry, I swore a lot there. Happy Fruitcake Toss Day. Thanks. I appreciate it. Oh, it's the 3rd of January. Fruitcake Toss Day. Thank you. Thank you for the pods. The pods? The pods answer. Oh, no worries. The cargo and modular system answer. Yeah, no worries. Happy to help. Oh, thank you very much, Faitaki. Thank you very much, James Holderby. Thank you very much. Oh, you were checking far too much money at me. Right. I am going. Do they plan to accept paid user-generated content into the game online? Not as far as I'm aware at any level. They've previously had the Next Great Starship, which they had the Redeemer being designed, but they had to entirely reconcept it and redo it, and we still don't have the Redeemer in game now. Well, the redone one. So I think they'll think about anything they do like that again, long and hard. I would prefer. So eventually we should have modding tools. And I eventually think that CIG will just open up the game to modding. It's going to be in the far future, so a good few years. But I'd like to see this sort of like where, based on what player-facing tools they give us for modding. I'm interested to see where that goes, because I do think that we could have something quite special with modding of Star Citizen in the future. Is it a good time to hop in the game at the moment? Would you recommend it, and why? If you've got a group of friends or an organisation to join, yes. Really fucking good fun. If you want to get involved in the project, giving feedback, helping find bugs, helping say what you do and don't like about certain features, and getting more involved in that, and giving feedback on forums, yes. If you're looking for a game to sit down and play, and you want a great experience constantly, no. There's no permanent progression in Star Citizen yet. There are bugs in Star Citizen. It's an alpha. Wait until it's in a later phase if that's what you want to do. We should vote for a drop of the NDA for board. Yes! Give me special rights! Let me be Evocati and report on it. See how grumpy people get. Oh my god, the salt would be palpable. Oh, that'd be so unfair. That would be horrible. That'd be so unfair. I'd feel like such a such a scab. Oh. Last one. I've heard that they're working on a mining vehicle. Yes, they sort of like have an idea for one in concept. Have you heard anything specific about it? Will it fit in the carrick? I don't know what ships it will fit in. It's supposed to have a big mining laser on it, or mining drill on it. I've got some stuff on it in my notes. There is a video of mine talking about the secret ships of, or special ships of CitizenCon, which has all the information of that vehicle in there that I was able to discern. When ships are claimed through insurance, the materials needed to make those ships become delivery missions. Sort of. The economy obviously needs them built, so they might already have them built, but there'll be more demand for those items because factories need to produce more, potentially. Or they might just need to finish off some of the components. Any giveaways here? No, fuck you. Right, I'm stopping streaming. Screw you. Coming in here for giveaways. Oh my god, my presence is presence enough, mate. How dare you? How dare you, sir? Or madam. Who else is streaming? Oh, Smashly streaming. Right. We are going to go and poke Smashly because I love her content. She's one of my favourite content creators. She's very funny. And she's playing Star Citizen, apparently. So give Smashly some love. No, that's not where I'm... Thank you very much for joining me today. Very much appreciated. Why am I bringing that up? I don't want to bring that up. No. Smashly's stopping in a minute. Thank you very much, Don Rayner. Maya. We'll go to Maya. I love Maya. He's one of my favourite content creators. Oh my god, no, I do love Maya. Bam! Let's... I just said exactly the same things. Right, there's Maya's link. I'm gonna... Oh my god. Slash raid that bad boy. Maya. What do you think will show up first, the Pioneer or the Endeavour? Oh, good question. Probably the Pioneer. Because the Endeavour's got so many mechanics going on with it, isn't it? I don't know. No, they're both complicated. I don't fucking know. I don't know. What you ask me at the end? No, I'm going to have to consider it. Well, I'm not going to consider it now. I'm going to go for food. Love you guys. You take care. Peace out. And I'll talk to you real soon. How do I... Right now. Bam. Love you guys. Peace. Thank you so much for watching and supporting the channel for however long you have. Genuinely really appreciate it. Really looking forward to 2020. Looking forward to 3.8.x being a bit more playable. I do have a new video on my channel that's available for you to watch. It's much more critical of CIG and Star Citizen 3.8. It is literally going to... The state of the game videos are going to be more sort of like bugs and triage, where appropriate at the moment. I think it's appropriate to look at the bugs and the problems with the game. So I've done that there and talked about it. And some of the stability and stuff, because the servers are pretty stable for me anyway. But anyway, love you guys. You take care. Peace. Watch the video.